All right, guys.
An Allen wrench is some Loctite.
Look at that. All right, guys. Welcome back to the what happened to the KX build. We got the bottom end together in the last one, and now it's time to build the brand new cylinder. Got to go grab the power valve parts out of the cleaner, and then we're gonna get together. So, got our power valve parts. They're a little dirty still, but not bad. Clean them up just a little bit more. Then we're going to install them. So you sandwich them together like that. And we're going to take our, I don't know what this thing's called, the actuator guy, hook it onto that. And with that in there, take our, actually, gotta get a new seal for that. So, got a new seal. That in there, and that helps keep the spooge from going everywhere. It's not, if it's not in there, it's not the end of the world, but definitely obviously want to put it in, and it helps keep this whole thing a lot cleaner. The place was awesome. Owns like literally thousands of acres, so they let us go. Alright guys, we've got the power valve all built. Now we're going to put the top end together. Got a little bit of assembly lube on that top end bearing. And I already checked the ring end gap. I've shown that in a whole bunch of videos, so I'm not going to show you guys that again. But there is a mark on these. That mark on Vertex pistons is a mark that goes up. So I'm going to go ahead and put the rings on here. So guys, if you look close, you can see these little holes. There are pins there that help line the end gaps up. You gotta line those things up. So we're gonna take this. It's got an arrow that always goes forward towards the exhaust. There we go. Yeah. Base gasket's on. Piston looks good. Rings are lined up. Now we're just going to slide this guy. There we go. There we go. Top end's ready to go. Just got to clean this head up really good, and then we'll put that on. We'll be good. All right, guys. So we got the top end together. Everything is good. Still got to do the power valve and all that. But first, what we're going to do is put the clutch in. So I want to say a huge thank you to Brady Metter, who went way out of his way to find a clutch and a Kickstarter for this bike. I had ordered one from Kawasaki and left it on back order like everything else, and he got mad at me and said, anyway, he went and found one. He paid, I think, full retail for it. So Brady, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. So I got a brand new clutch to put in this thing, which it desperately needed, because the kid's clutch has been dragging really bad for a while. So yeah, so we are going to start with, we're going to put the crank gear on first, and then the clutch goes next. Alright, if you guys watched the other videos, you noticed this, you know that I did this to all the gear and everything. I love doing things like this with zip ties because it helps you to not forget which way things go, keeps it all in order and nice and happy. So we're going to just cut our zip tie. Alright, so got that ready. Gotta make sure you get the water pump gear in there. Again, this is the perfect time to look really closely at all those little teeth, make sure they're good. I'm gonna drop this in place. Make sure we line everything up. Got this nice and dry and clean. I'm gonna put some red Loctite on it. Again, the crank one is left-hand threaded, so there we go. Alright, so here's the kid's clutch basket. You can see it's got some grooves in it. That's probably also not helping his clutch disengagement when he's on the line. So I don't have a new basket because I honestly had to stop spending money. This is getting really expensive. But also I want to show you guys the broke racer tip on this. But I want to show you guys something that happens a lot on clutches. Focus. So you see this grooving right there? That causes a clutch to be kind of notchy and also not fully disengage when you're trying to kickstart the thing in gear. It makes it really hard. So that's what's been happening to the poor kid. I have a brand new clutch plates and everything, but I don't have a new clutch basket. Partially because I can fix this one, and also because this project was getting really, really expensive and I needed to kind of like put the whoa brakes on. So, but let me show you guys the quick broke racer tip. So if you have grooving in your basket and you don't want to spend a whole bunch of money on a new basket, what you need is a file and a little bit of time. So what you're going to do is come in here and you're going to file that down. So after I get done with the file, I take my it's like a red Scotch-Brite pad on a Dremel. I go through and I make it all look really nice. Oop. There we go. Make them look nice and factory again. And now I'm going to clean it up, get all that aluminum dust off of there. Then I'll install. I'll show you guys how we do that. All right. Got our clutch basket all nice and shiny again. Gonna take bearing and race. Actually, so we're gonna take our washer, that goes first. Then take our race, drop that on, put our bearings on. There we go. Now we'll take our basket. Make sure, actually, so that's on there. Now we got to put our shift shaft back in. We want to be nice and careful as we install this because we just put a new seal on the other side. So I take a little bit of grease, cover up those splines with lots of grease. Now we're gonna drop that down in there. All right. Now we take our basket. A lot of times you'll have to kind of turn it, and then there's a gear down here. There we go. Turn that. Boom. There we go. Thrust washer. All right, take your inner basket. There we go. Now, guys, if you have any questions about what goes in first, what goes in second, and all that, like the order of these plates, it's always a good idea to take the old one out, keep it together, and then just reinstall. But I can tell you that on, I think all Japanese bikes, I think it's all of them, maybe there's some out there that don't do this, but generally they go friction plate in first. Now some people will soak these in oil first. You don't have to do that. It doesn't really matter because these are gonna sit in oil and splash around immediately once we start this thing up, so they'll be just fine. And it's interesting because some clutch manufacturers say you have to, some say you don't. I don't know what Kawasaki says, but I don't worry about it too much. So you'll friction first, then steel. And we just alternate. Again, Brady, I really can't thank you enough, man. Thank you so much for all this new parts. It really means a lot, man. I appreciate it. And if you guys are wondering at my cost on all this stuff, these parts, because I had to pay almost retail for the cylinder because I couldn't find one through Kawasaki. I had to get it from Rocky Mountain. I got a little bit of a deal there, but not much. But without this clutch, I'm about $900 into this situation, so it is not inexpensive, even if you're paying less than retail for things. So again, I can't thank Brady enough for the help, because this was not inexpensive. He won't let me pay him. I've asked him over and over again how much he paid, and he won't tell me. And of course the invoice doesn't tell me, but I'll get him back. So there we go, we got all that on there. Now what we can do is we can take this and we can buzz it on with our impact without having a clutch holder tool. So this one is normal thread. I'm gonna dry it off real fast. Dry the shaft off. Some red Loctite. And .24. Again, with all these clutches, you can just push down on these plates and that'll hold it in place. There we go. Put this in. So it's a little bit different. It doesn't have a push rod, it's got a pull mechanism. So there we go. I'm going to take our springs. And I know someone's going to yell at me for this, but I don't care. I'm going to run these down with my little 1/4-inch gun. Let it burp just a little bit. This thing does not have that much torque. And I am gambling, I guess, a little bit that it's not going to strip. But if you take it easy putting that on there and go nice and slow and just have it go just a little bit, you're good. Because these have spring pressure on them, they're way less likely to back out, right? So you just want to make sure you don't over tighten them. So now we're going to take our cover. I take a little bit of grease, put it on the shafts that come through the cover. Make sure we got everything lubed up. I'm going to come down. And now here's the thing. So when you're putting the clutch cover on, this has to get lined up right. And it's, let me show you real fast. Take this off and show you guys. So because it's a pull, you see this has to hook onto it and then pull it open. So you want to set it like that as you slide it on, and then as you get it on there, you rotate that forward and get it hooked in there. And you'll know when it's right. You can tell. dealing with this clutch. There we go. So it actually was the clutch. You saw me kind of wiggle that thing, and then it fell down into place. So it's just a matter of time. You got to take your time, guys. Just don't force anything, and then you'll be good. So I take that back. There's one long one, and it goes over here. Set our torque wrench to 7 foot-pounds. See. All right, guys, we got that cover on. Now we're gonna hook the power valve up. Thing is, this little grommet thing's always a bit of a pain, but kind of gotta fight that thing into its home. So, I don't know if you guys can see this very well, but if you look right there, there's a hole, and that lines up with this little nub. So when you're putting these power valves together, make sure you get that like that. Then get that. We're gonna close the power valve like that, and we're gonna hook that to it. We got our clip. Gonna hook that on there. So you can get in here. Go easy. Put that on there. There we go. I'm gonna check, make sure it is the closed position. We're gonna get this nice and clean, and we're gonna put a little bead of Yama Bond, you know, the 3-bond 1184 around this piece, because it goes around here, and that'll help seal that up. Take our new gasket, set it on there. Like I said, take a little bead of this. We're just gonna run it right around there. Take our cover, put it over. There we go. Now, last thing on this cover, we got to put a water pump cover and get color on. So, I like to use a gun just to beep. There we go. Because otherwise, it's trying to spin the motor while you're doing that. So you just pip just a little bit and you'll be good. And you don't want to go crazy because it is a plastic gear on that thing and you could foul that up. So you don't want to do that. So we've got one longer one, goes there. 2 short ones, go right there. Our motor is ready to go back in the frame. All right, guys, we've got all the motor mounts done. Everything's good to go there. I'm gonna go back with the gun and tighten everything down, and then put the stator in, flywheel in, all that stuff. I'll check back here. I'll check back in here in just a second. All right, guys, got her back together. It all went really well. I'm feeling really good about it. I got coolant in it. I got oil in it. Gas is in it. Got it mixed 32 to 1. Probably for good on these little bikes, and then not just for break-in. Brand new clutch cable, as well as the clutch. Brand new crank, brand new cylinder, brand new piston. Yeah, I think we're good. One thing you always want to check before you fire a bike up after you've done a whole bunch of work, or any really work at all, is make sure there's some free play in the throttle cable, so it's not going to stick wide open. Also, when I get on this thing, I'm going to hold my hand right over this kill switch just in case it tries to run away. I feel confident in my ability and all that stuff, but things happen. So leaving the coolant cap off so I can look in there and see what's going on. New kicker, new everything. I think we're good to go, guys. Let's see what happens. No editing here. We're just gonna kick it until it starts. So, choke on, gas is on. Roll it through a few times, just make sure it feels good. One last time. Really happy. The bike sounds awesome. Motor sounds nice and tight, crisp. Really happy. I got to clean the air filter. Actually, it's disgusting from that race, but I didn't take it off because I didn't want to start it with no air filter in it, and it was going to take a while to dry, so it's disgusting. But that seriously is practice and 2 laps of the race. Yeah, guys, really happy with the way that went. Like, that went well. Again, thank you, Brady Metter. Thank you, YouTube, for honestly making things like this a lot more enjoyable. When you have a bike that breaks and you're not, you know, you've got no nothing to do with it other than rebuild it, it's kind of just depressing. But fortunately, because I get to make content for you guys and show you guys how to do stuff, it honestly makes it pretty enjoyable. I mean, I don't want to see things break, but when they do, it's not nearly as disappointing as it used to be. So anyway, bike's ready to go. I got to put a new rear sprocket on it and some other stuff. Nothing big. The motor's good. Yeah, we're going to break it in tomorrow night for Thursday night ride. So make sure you subscribe, guys. We ride every Thursday night, and I try to make a video on most of those nights. Sometimes I don't. Yeah, we try to do lots of tech video. If you guys are new to this channel, we do a ton of tech videos, ride videos, story time videos, things like that. So reviews of gear, parts, things like that. Yeah, it's a kind of a little bit of everything motorcycle, or it's a little bit of everything dirt bike wise. So anyway, I hope you guys like that video. I hope you get out and spread the gospel of 2 wheels. And I desperately, desperately hope that what we're doing here at Highland Cycles is inspiring you guys to work on and get out and ride your dirt bikes!